Thag. Yeah, we're live now. It happens. I missed a lot of stuns game too, man. I need to play nothing but Decker. I missed so many stuns game too. Hopefully I'm gonna keep working to come back. No breakups. I mean, we have to play PCC EU next week. But who knows, man? Who knows? Will our team break up? Probably. I'm gonna be honest with you. Probably. What's up, Rivera? Depends. I say probably, but it just depends, man. Like, I don't want it to at all, but who knows, man? Who knows? With the track record of the profs, I think there's only been like one tournament we haven't broke up, so it's like damn, that's bad. It's not like it's bad. We're not arguing or mad at each other. It's just that just happens with the profs. My team breaks up even after we win. We've won 2 PCCs and my team broke up after both wins. Teammates ain't loyal. Does part of you want to play offlane next VCC? No, not really. I only played offlane because Prof's internet went out. He plays a fucking phenomenal offlane. I would love to keep our team, but we'll just see. I mean, I would love to keep the team that we have, but see. Tournament over? Yeah, we lost. We lost in losers bracket. Oh well. Yeah, I mean, GG's crazy. At least you guys tried. Yeah, I guess. Knocked out way earlier than I wanted, though. you guys want to watch the finals, or do you guys want me to queue ranked, I guess? It's like Mach 10's doing pretty good. You guys sticking together for LAN? I'd love to. We'll see. Would love to. Just improve. Is the delay still on? No, delay's not on anymore. Already restarted. This is winners bracket final that they're streaming right now. Relax and watch finals. Why did we not play Iggy? He didn't want to play Iggy. Team did not want to play Iggy. How did it feel in offlane for one game? Not gonna lie, I was kind of nervous. Didn't know how well it'd go, but I think that team was just on tilt and they didn't really care. So they cheesed me before creep spawned, and then they didn't ever gank me again, so it went fine. I think they kind of wrote me off like it would be an easy lane, and then I kind of just farmed and did fine. Top 12 are all very strong teams. Yeah. Rogue was a team that I thought we would probably do pretty well against, but instead we got fucking shit on. Our game 2 draft was fucking garbage. Another one of those panic drafts that doesn't make any sense. Oh well. We tend to do that. Same thing we did in the PPL. Ben's very solid.
I would just suck the shit out of Crazy Fool's toes.
He definitely carried him game 1. That Seraph pick was pretty nasty. Which is unfortunate, because I literally said about 100 times that we should ban Seraph game 1. I think if they don't have Seraph game 1, that game 1 goes way, way different. That pick carried him so fucking hard. But we thought we could play into it. Which I think I could have played better that game, and maybe we could have played into it a little bit better, but it is what it is. I literally just couldn't play the game 1. I literally would get hit by Sarah's stun, and then Richter hooked, and Richter ulted, and Richter, and then Aurora would come in, and it's like, oh, well, I just don't get to play the game, huh? Why take the risk? You know it's stupid, because sometimes Sarah doesn't get to play the game, and sometimes she does, you know? We had a very fed gadget that game. So the hope is, like, Sarah jumps in, gadget on top, and Sarah dies, right? Like, she doesn't get to play the game into the gadget. But the problem is Morn didn't get to play the game. So Sarah jumps in, I get everything, I get CC comboed and die, Sarah gets reset. She Qs again inside the gadget ult. Sarah doesn't die in gadget ult. She eases into the air. She comes back down on somebody else, gets another reset. She's now resetting around the fight. Nobody can kill her. Her gadget kills maybe 1 or 2 frontliners, but now Seraph is resetting in the back line. She gets multiple kills. So it didn't go the way we hoped, because we can't lock her down. And I can never get a mez off, because my mez is getting canceled by Richter hook, Richter silence, Richter ult, or Aurora ult every 2 seconds. Or a Bellica knockup, or whatever. I know you be the shot caller. Isn't normally a jungler sport to do the shot calling? Oba does shot calling. He does a fucking phenomenal job. I don't need to do shot calling. When Oba is shot calling objectives and stuff, he does a great job. I just target call and stuff, man. Like, who am I stunning? Who am I hitting and stuff? Oba does a great job shot calling. I don't need a target. I don't need a shot call. Why am I queuing ranked? I don't know. Okay, we're gonna cancel. We're gonna watch. We'll queue a ranked game once this is over.
Do they have their eyes set towards this Orb Prime? Mercy is
Like,
down for another 40 seconds.
Orb Prime should be the look. However, if you look at this shot here, Lakenator and Boy Lance, some activity come down, and it's not going to be enough. Lakenator winning that exchange and getting yet another shutdown onto the Revenant. But he does get killed as well, as we see the activity coming from Simba securing the kill on Lakenator.
And BKB gets the inhib on the opposite side of the map as well, so they trade their ADC backs. That is typically what you see from the Sparrow Rev 1v1. They get into each other. If they stay within range, Sparrow just pushes the R button, and Revenant dies most of the time, even with the gold disadvantage that Lakenator is at into Maguli. Yes, Simba's able to come around, pick that up, trade them back and forth, but that is massive for the confidence of Lakenator.
And I love that there. Your 2K gold down on Lakenator. You see Maguli coming up. You have your ward down. You got to admire his confidence coming and chase you down, but you also have to make him respect your power. So great ult there. Great way to secure that kill and get that shutdown with extra gold in your pocket. But extra gold still not quite enough though, Lance. A 2K gold is a pretty sizable amount to carry. It's almost a full item there. So damage and the overall play so far still in the favor of Maguli, but I love what Lakenator is doing here to show his confidence throughout the later course of this match.
Flow State also has that third
Fang really hoping we get at least to
once they got that primal Fang Tooth, it was able to push them past that critical number of teeth collected under the pillow for the Tooth Fairy to pick up, and it always translates to gold. BKB here on back towards the Bondrewd North in here as well. It's a 3-for-2 right now. Coliseum does come out around the Scion buff. Health bars still getting pushed around, but the tankiness of the members of Flow State, Colossal Blow is going to knock Mercy out to isolate Bondrewd. He is going to be the first to fall, but 4 members actually going to go down. Only Bry remains. There is no inhib here. Flow State may be looking to end the game.
Lance, if I'm on the side of Flow State here, I'm not worried about any busts. You're right. I'm just going to push this thing down. You've got just Bry coming in with 30 seconds of death timers on the remaining teammates. This should be a chance for Flow State just to walk this one real casually, get themselves a win, and force this game 3.
Oh, a game 3, we might be seeing BKB gonna put himself into the court and join the rest of the members of Mach 10, but this core at only a sliver of health is gonna push us to a game 3. Flow State take game 2.
Lance, I love to see it. You know, everybody, including Liz at the desk, loves to see a comeback, and that's the one we needed there. Very good matchup. Very good matchup. Love to see the change up, the confidence that came out of this Flow State roster going into game 2. Game 1 was completely in the hands of Mach 10. They had to have the most confidence walking into the second one. But Flow State said, not here, not today. Mercy, very much so. Stronger performance on the Zars. Overall, great play.
I could have landed
did his thing on the Revenant this time. Sparrow wasn't enough, and the Revenant just showed his dominance.
The draft for game 3 is going to be very interesting. Both teams made some adjustments in game 2. I expect to see a lot of prio onto Morn, but boy, does Lance love a game 3, love a full series for all of the stakes, for all of what it is. I gotta hear what the Desk has to say about this. We're gonna.
We were playing that fight really well, me and Survivor, and then the second I missed that stun, the fight was over.
My goodness, predecessor fans, we've got another game 3 on our hands.
And there was another fight where
Twitch drops, but also
Oba was ganking dual lane, and I missed stun on Richter.
HD Philly B and the Desk here with you. Blue Jay, I actually want to start with you first. Sorry, Liz, to mix it up because Flow State did exactly what you said. They put the pedal to the metal. Can you break down their composition just a little bit more?
Yeah, because if TB dies there, then they can't fight into us, right? Feng Mao is 1 HP.
Okay.
And we can kill the Feng Mao, and Survivor doesn't die, I don't die.
Hey, sorry. Guys, but
instead I die, Survivor dies.
Sorry, can you ask me the question again? I couldn't hear you guys.
It goes really
all
bad
good,
for
friend.
us.
Glad to have you back. The AirPods are working. So you mentioned going into this game number 2 that you wanted Flow State to push the pedal to the metal, do their aggression to the fullest. They did just that. Can you break down their composition just a little bit more for the crowd?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, right off the bat, putting Mercy on that Zara's pick obviously paid dividends.
Also, if I don't miss so many stuns
getting able to stack an early Fang Tooth, push around the map, get some
I
kills,
think I missed
snowball the laners.
on the TV
and we saw
as well, right?
out of the mock 10
Which wouldn't have killed him, but it
actually,
would have
the
poked
lack
damage,
of damage
like
when
poke damage,
Sparrow
right?
isn't a
Just extra
factor in the
damage I
game.
missed-
That's why I was a
on
little
him, so it's
surprised seeing
like-
that Argus pick come out for them and not something with more sustained damage like a gadget. Because when you're into a Gray Stone, when you're into his
Played
Argus,
a really fucking bad deck
dive
game,
heavy
like
people,
really fucking bad.
and you need to really have
Can't-
some sustained
can't have
damage to
that.
kill them, and your Sparrow's dead, you can't really do it if she's dead, right? So it's like, if Mercy's big and he's onto the Sparrow, it's really hard to play that game, and that's just kind of what ended up happening. Mercy really controlled this game and kind of put the pedal to the metal.
Absolutely. And Liz, we did get to see North on the crunch, and it was working so well until it wasn't. What went wrong there with that pick?
Oh well. Flow state group like mofos, man,
me
early
now?
and often. I know they do, don't they?
I can hear you. Yep.
Okay, perfect. So, sorry guys. So, I think the biggest thing coming into this game, especially when you have another jungler who is everywhere on the map, and especially with a hero like Crunch, you're not really getting that time to really nourish and farm as much as you want to, especially when you're having to almost not chase, but to be in these other lanes that aren't getting visited, especially when the other jungler has so much room to be active. You know, he's getting those early ganks, those early kills, so he's out here scaling a lot faster than that Crunch is, especially when you do end up in that chase game. It tends to go downhill quite fast as a jungler, and that is exactly what we saw, and as Blue Jay mentioned, and what I was kind of hoping would happen here. And Ritter said it best, I love a comeback game. I love comeback games. I love best of threes. So I'm really excited to see that that's exactly how Mercy played that. He was in the
PCC
lanes, he was
drops,
in
only
the
PCC
objectives. As
only-
soon as
only
they're
this
spawning, he said, come
PCC
get me,
drops,
and
I'm
he was
pretty
ready for it. And
I have drops,
just
just not
scaled and
PCC
helped
drops,
his
only
team
this.
get where they need to be a lot faster.
If
so
there's
it
like
wasn't that
specific drops
scaling
for the
game on the
PCC,
side
it's
of
only this
content.
thing has it.
You suck.
Absolutely,
Probably
that
just the,
dive
PCC.
composition
suck.
working to
You suck.
perfection
You
for the
suck.
side of
You
Flow
suck.
State.
You
They
suck.
now
You
move themselves
suck.
into a
You
position
suck.
to
You suck.
get into the
You
grand
suck.
finals, that
You
money
suck.
match.
We wouldn't do
You
anything.
suck.
We
You
don't have anything to
suck.
play for. We're
Bad
not
luck.
down.
Excuse me.
You suck.
So we still have a lot more predecessor left to play, folks. We're gonna head to a short break. We'll see you on the other side.
I was making pulled pork garbage. What the fuck is garbage bread?
We love Predecessor. Welcome back, PCC and Predecessor fans. HD Philly B here, flanked by two fantastic folks, and we have a game 3 on our hands between Mach 10 and Flow State. Mach 10 took game 1. Flow State took game 2. We know if you take the game 2, you usually have the momentum moving into game 3. Liz, what's the mentality of both these squads right now?
Well, I know Mercy is probably just hyped, and when Mercy's hyped, everybody else is getting hyped. So honestly, especially in that case where typically the second winner of the best of 3 has that momentum, I think that's going to be really hefty here going into that for them. I think there's going to be a lot of energy and momentum. I'm not counting Mach 10 out, though. I do think that after that, this is definitely one of those moments where it's like, hey, we got to lock in, we have to kind of respect. We have to respect Mercy. We know that, hey, if we put him against a wall, he's going to be a wild animal. He's going to run around. He's going to take that pick. He's going to take that chance, right? We have some tanky heroes, but it doesn't matter whenever you got somebody that's already 2 levels ahead of you. So, I think they're going to have to just keep that in mind and really try and build a composition that isn't just going to be a late game scaling, something that could potentially be longevity.
How did PCC go? We lost, unfortunately.
Absolutely. And the winner of this, folks, moves on to the grand finals for that chance of that $10,000.
Say money can't buy happiness. Look at the fucking smile on my face.
Hey, Serena Marina, thank you for the 200 biddies. You don't need to do that, but I appreciate you. Thank you. You're still amazing.
Set over 2
You're all still amazing. I appreciate you all being here. We're going to watch this last game of the winners bracket finals to see who makes it to the grand finals. And then we'll get into some rank queues and just chill, relax, and have a good time.
You just keep thinking about the next step forward.
I appreciate all you guys though for still being here and hanging out and chilling with me.
Reach the end, and when you're playing,
we're gonna clear our heads, have a good time, play some ranks. Actually, no, play some viewer games. Nitros. It's Sunday, isn't it?
So just
Nitro viewer games. That's a lie. We'll watch this and play some Nitros.
If you have a little bad blood between each other, just honestly keeps the juices flowing, and the competitive nature of the game.
I forgot it's Sunday.
Itself is just amazing. So yeah, these guys are amped up. They're ready to go. If they had to play in the July matches right now, they'd play the July matches right now. They're going to keep pushing forward. So it's it's fun to watch, and I don't expect anything less from these two teams than to come out and give us a really good third match.
Absolutely. And we talk about Mercy a lot, right? And he was on a new team, Flow State, right? When before he was on Mach 10, formerly the Leftovers. So definitely, like you said, a lot of that camaraderie, some frenemies, right? A lot of rivalries between these squads. Maybe he has something cooked up in his brain because he knows how the other team wants to operate, but does he know how they want to draft? Choice Plays, send us to it. Here we go. We have our first bans coming through. We've seen the Decker prioritized time and time again. Blue Jay, I'll start with you here. Do you think we'll see the Enchanter being banned out once more?
We'll see. I think just in general, Mach 10 might just revert back to those 2 bans just because those are key picks that Flow State has been playing throughout this whole tournament. I do want to note something in last game. When you had Peak on the Morn with, Spider-Man Morn, he was a lot more active on the map. When you have a support that's able to move with a jungler into the enemy side, one, it creates safety for the whole team because you can get extra vision down with a support crest, as well as keeping your jungler in the midst of it stealing camps, timing on objectives, catching out enemies. So having a support jungle duo that can move around the map, freely is very important for this Flow State team, definitely.
Absolutely, and if you can dive with your jungler in there, and especially get the contagion on there, provide that little extra shielding and healing as Mercy's diving in, you're facilitating that carry even more. Liz, once again, it's the same exact band. Has the meta been figured out?
I definitely don't know about just meta, but I do think these are heroes that both teams have really sat down and thought about and said that genuinely they would rather just prioritize these bans against the current teams, and of course they're also going to take away the Morn, so it seems like I always like to see that whenever the same team that had them likes to ban them, because it shows that they have something else in mind, but they know that it's deadly, and especially considering hey, we're not picking it up this time, what usually happens? The other team tends to pick up the problem child, right? So I think this is interesting because this is kind of a bold statement in my opinion, saying like, hey, we're not taking them more, but we have something up our sleeve, and I'm kind of excited to see what they're going to go ahead and pick up instead.
If I was sitting, I'd be
Mach
on the
10
edge
banned.
of my seats, because now the Wukong is available for North to play on the side of Mach 10. We do have an opener for the side of Mach 10, and it will be the Steel who can go support, can go jungle, go off lane. So a very versatile pick here, Blue.
Yeah, no, we've seen this pick, and it's actually funny. We've seen this pick from a lot of teams that actually have lost the game and then revert to the Steel because it is such a comfortable choice for teams to play. Very, targeted CC, a lot of CC in fights and able to move around the map freely. But we'll see what Flow State comes out with. I mean, honestly, Belica Countess, that is an interesting pair. The Countess, like I said, can be flexed between multiple roles on this team, and the Belica, like I said, would most likely go into the mid lane here. So we'll see what Mach 10 comes back with. But I do not hate the Belica into the Steel. It is something that can kind of, CC the Steel up when it's bull rushing in and kind of heal the team a little bit. But as the draft's developing, we'll get a little bit more sense of what these teams want to come out with.
For sure, and maybe that forces the Steel to go for the Bull Rush augment that prevents the CC from coming through, so he can make his way into the back line. We know Simba will pilot the Belica, BKB probably on the Countess, so those two kind of figured out. Liz, now we're seeing a double pick here, the Revenant and the Greystone for Mach 10.
I think this is really fun. I love seeing them pick up the Revenant. I think they finally had it with Magoli kind of piloting that guy, and they said, you know what? We're done with you, brother. We're going to run him instead. So save the ban for something else more prioritized, but definitely taking that opportunity to pick up the Revenant. But I think it's even funnier that they're going to go ahead and answer with the Sparrow. They're confident with that. And, we've been saying it since yesterday and since this comp really started building. Sparrow is a really big answer into Revenant and vice versa, so a lot of people tend to run them together. So I like the fact that we're going to see them swapped, especially for this final match. I think that's going to be something almost poetic in a way, but really excited to see how Magoli's going to pilot
They lost
Sparrow.
They lost today, so they're in the
not have the
bracket.
Revenant. I think it's going to be fun.
100%, but the thing is now with these characters, they've swapped what character they're playing, but can they swap their mental? Can they slot the new memory card into no? Because these two carries play it very differently.
Yes.
Blue Jay, we're seeing more junglers taken off the board, the Fang Mao and the Xerath.
Yeah, I was expecting the Zarus to come through. That is one that, was going to be an easy pickup on the side of Flow State. But now it gets a little bit interesting for these teams. You have Flow State over here, who has a comp that really has a lot of squishier characters on it, and a comp on Mach 10 side that has that Greystone that has been very effective in both of these games. The Wukong is also still up for the side of Mach 10. I'm not quite sure if anyone on Flow State will be piloting that champion, but North still has that champion in his pool. But we do see the Aurora. This is a great pick. Lots of CC. This can actually be played into the support role or the offlane role or the jungle role. So there's a lot of different things that this pick can be flexed into, and it's actually one that a lot of other teams are playing in their matches currently. So I'm excited to see this character come out because it provides a lot of CC, a lot of disturbance in these team fights, which is what the Greystone and the Steel hate.
And Mercy, one of the best Auroras in the game. They made their name off this character in PCCX. I mean, if Mercy is piloting the Ice Queen, they can separate the fight, block off objectives, keep the Revenant from getting that fourth shot in. Could be massive here, Liz. Mach 10, though, they're rounding it out. Here's the monkey.
Yes, I do think I like seeing this Aurora come out. I love when Aurora makes it through a ban and actually on to a team, because I do think she is a really great hero in any kind of competitive sense. Objective fights, like you said, just crowd control. She has it all, and like her kit is so extensive, you can build her different ways. I love seeing the Aurora, and especially with Mercy. Like you said, he did make his name on that, but of course, what if we do get to see her in a support role? That'd be great, especially having kind of control of those pits over there. But ultimately, I love Aurora, but of course Mach 10 does get that Wukong, so they said you let that slip through and we're going to make you pay for that one. So I think that's a great pickup, and of course the gadget, we've been saying it. I'm so excited to see her picked up here.
Yeah, and this is going to be really deadly in the pits. You go for Shield Slam, Tesla Dome, then High Impact, Stoneforge Soul. I mean, there's a lot of circles within circles. It's a Venn diagram in these pits, so it's going to be tough to navigate. Flow State, Blue Jay, picking up the Terra to maybe intercept or break up some of those circles.
Yeah, no, the Terra, and then does this mean that the Aurora is going to be going into the support role? You got to look at that right now, because now you're seeing a bunch of different options that could come out on the side of Flow State. I do like the gadget pickup from Mach 10. I think when you're getting ran down by a lot of these champions, it's a good disengage tool when you already don't have a lot. but the Terra coming right back at that gadget is able to, kind of run through that CC and be immune while they're trying to, create that chaos in the back line. North did pick up that Wukong, so he's going to be on that pick again and hopefully be able to make some plays for them. But yeah, both these comps rounded out pretty interesting. The Flow State comp is one that I'm actually excited to see where these characters end up going, and it'll be kind of cool to see how this game flows out.
Yeah, and just to round us out here, Blue Jay, which squad are you favoring just a little bit more?
You know what? I think I'm going to take Mach 10 in this one. I think that they're going to bounce back, and I think that they'll take this. I think North will have a very good game on this Wukong pick, and I think the Greystone is going to be maybe a little bit too much for these backline carries, Sparrow, Countess, Delica.
Absolutely. I think I'm favoring them a little bit more. Their comp seems maybe just a speck easier to execute. Where on the other side, Flow State, they have to be very pinpoint with their abilities to lock some of these characters down, like the Monkey, etc., to get it done. Liz, what side do you like?
I had it strong for my Flow State boys last game, but I see the vision, don't get me wrong, but I do think this team is very niche. And, it's one of those that if someone misses the right ability or the right stun, I see it escalating in team fights pretty fast. Like you said, especially if that Steel does get the augment where his bulldoze cannot be stopped right into that back line, it is just straight chaos from there, etc. So I unfortunately am favoring this Mach 10 team, but again, if everybody is hitting what they need to hit on Flow State, definitely could pull it off. It's just very niche and not as safe and easy to play. So I think I like that.
Okay, they're going to be looking to get some of the priority in the lanes, Flow State, so they can make rotations, find people caught out, get those picks, and then rotate to objectives. Where Mach 10, they're just going to bomb in. Just everybody, ult everybody ability, will blow everybody away. Doesn't even matter. We are now ready to go for our final time back to Sanctuary for this winners finals match to Lance and Ritterific.
Hey, thank you so much, HD, Philly B, Blue Jay, and Lizadeth. I am still Lance. Always terrific to be joined by Ritterific.
What are you thinking on these picks, Crazy?
A button to us here. Rit, we have got big stakes.
Peak got banned out. I think he's playing
Winner
Aurora,
of this gets themselves straight to the
know
grand finals.
Thinks,
loser,
Aurora,
semifinals of
totally
the loser
fine,
bracket will have to win
his
a series in order to get themselves a rematch against the winner
plays
of
three
this.
picks. He plays his best pick is Decker, and it's not even close. I think his Decker pick is by far better than his Morn pick. I think his Morn pick looks good because Morn is really strong right now.
Looking like it's probably going to be
and yeah, he plays a good Morn, but his Morn pick
How do you think the change up in this draft affects what we're going to see in game?
His Morn pick looks really good.
I really enjoy this change up. We're just seeing a simple carry flip here, but I think
playing
that's
really well.
We've seen such strong performances out of McGooley, but what we've not seen out of him so far is the Sparrow. I'm sure he's very comfortable on the character, and he's very strong right now.
He will 1v5 a game by playing Decker. His Decker is the best Decker in the game.
Crucial, and then just the general bans. We saw the bans on the side of Flow
State. He got banned out on Decker. Then his Morn got banned by his own team.
Iggy, which we know Bry is very dominant on. And then we see the same thing.
Now he's playing Aurora, and Aurora is his worst pick. He plays 3 picks, and Aurora is the worst one. So that's a pretty big deal. I think that's really good.
Right here, what we're seeing is these teams getting what little bit of comfort they can with the picks they can, but eliminating whatever comfort they can from the opposing team. I think this
that'll help them a lot. I think peak on Aurora is like a big win for them.
And there's going to be some really interesting.
I said the same thing to my team. I told that's why we banned Decker against them in the winners bracket when we played Flow State.
You can put up the Horrorfrost, you can put up that wall to cut some of it off, you can hit the Cryosism, but if you're hitting that Cryosism and you're under a Tesla Dome from Bry, you're going to die by the time.
Other than that, I mean, it's all pretty fucking standard picks.
So a good pickup,
the Steel first pick was kind of weird, but then again, getting
counteract what Mercy's
big engaged CC support first makes a lot of sense.
I'm sorry, not Mercy. Peak is going to be able to do here on that Aurora, but we talked
our team should have picked Steel this tournament. We didn't. I would have played it. I thought it was pretty good.
You would think that they know what works well against it, which I feel is what they drafted with picking that Aurora up, with picking
Steel
that
will probably be pretty good for Mach 10.
To be able to dive that ADC and try to get to it early, blow him up so he can't be impactful.
I do think that McGooley is also.
I do believe that is the case, Lance. I think with the Countess, the Aurora, and even the Terra dashing, I think that's your best chance to try to make sure you blow up the Revenant in time. It's just with the CC. I know with the Terra you can pop an ultimate, you can be able to block some of that CC down from the Steel. However,
look at the
there is still a beefy amount of front line, and there is the pushback from the Wukong, who we saw have a phenomenal performance. I think there's a lot of chance for that field to sustain there, which they need. need. And the issue is if you're too busy diving in on the opposing's carry, trying to take out that Revenant, you really have to be cautious about them diving in on that Sparrow as well. You see the Greystone.
Yeah, so they have Terra as well, which they don't play a lot. But BKB's on Countess, and Countess is like a fucking comfort pick for BKB, and
I think the
Simba's
biggest
on
thing is here,
Belica. So like Simba and BKB are look to carrying this. Like, they need to carry this game. Because this is not a good pick for.
Carry had an advantage, it turned into a domination.
As you do mention that, it does feel like there might be a little bit of problem with.
This is still a comfort pick for Peak, but he doesn't play it a lot, and I think it's his worst support pick. This is still a good. This isn't a good pick for. This isn't even a good pick for Terra. Like this isn't even a good game for Terra, in my opinion. And Mercy doesn't play Terra a lot.
This is a big game.
Peak's worst support pick, in my opinion. Maguli is still really good on Sparrow, but he loves Revenant way more than Sparrow.
We have got people that have been
and BKB on Countess is that's his best pick, and this is Simba's best pick. So like
we've got champion after champion stacked on top of each other with these 10 people.
Bri absolutely fucking loves Countess. He's a demon on Countess.
Yeah, I hope that it does give an edge
Lakeinator,
to your team here. You know you have a chance here to really try to secure this one out. You know you want that spot in the finals without having to do any kind of measures going in.
This is like, yeah, this is Lakeinator. Lakeinator can play Rev, it's not a problem. He's a solid ADC all around.
And the game is ready. The cinematics
like a
of
whatever
Bango
pick
Mac
for him.
will surely blow us away as we get down into this. Shout out to his dad,
Steel, pretty solid, really good. He'll do really good on it. This dual lane will do just fine. They won't die to these guys. It'll be just fine. Greystone jungle is really good into Terra, in my opinion. I think this is like really solid, and then the Wukong offlane into the Countess. People have been saying the Wukong counters the Countess offlane, so apparently this pick is really good into the Countess. You're just going to split push, you're going to keep away from her, you're going to farm.
I don't want to shift it away from even the fight that we have the solo lane, which is the Countess into the Greystone. We've seen it go both ways. What I really want to focus on here, Lance, is this mid lane. I know you're a gadget enjoyer.
I'm favoring Mach 10's team comp, to be honest. I think this is not a good team comp for Flow State.
Of course, Bri, very intelligent, knows.
I think BKB and Simba have to do a lot of work this game if they want to win.
I don't believe we'll be seeing the alchemical rod come out of him. You don't want to stack
maybe Peak will still do really well, but
enhances that power that
I'm favoring Mach 10's team
on his ultimate ability against you. But I do kind of like this matchup. I think it's kind of a 50-50, especially now that you're not as dependent on
Bondred feeds on Wukong because
for the gadget
BKB's Countess is just too good, then the game's over for Mach 10. But
I think Mach 10 competition. You have to have some sort of answer to the strong pit fight that Flow State has.
Who's BKB? He was the offlaner a long time ago who came back and started playing the game again recently.
An entire area for it. So it's about that Connor. You have to put the Tesla Dome down on top of Maguli.
So the as I could run this out one more time, maybe one quick question here, Lance, is if it's not so much the focus, we want to focus on outside the carries, and we think that it's kind of a mid push or a good push here in the mid lane. What do you think about the change-ups and matchups between these two junglers?
I mean, I'm just afraid of North's Wukong, to just be blunt and honest about
What's
it.
North?
The mobility is matched decently
North
by the Aurora here, who has that glacial charge to be able to get around, has that double jump passive,
I'm an idiot.
well as the Wukong.
Bondred offlane with Greystone. I'm dumb.
So
I'm
both
dumb
of them
as
gonna have a lot of agency, a lot of ganking.
Wukong North is actually disgusting.
Don't have available to them. But it all depends on, where the action kicks off.
He can be everywhere. This Belica might die 100 times. Bondred offlane Greystone into Countess, he'll be fine.
Around the outside and it's
I think Mach 10's comp got way better now.
And
I think F8's comp is going to get fucking cooked here.
Especially like you said.
Oh yeah, I'm dumb. I was too busy looking at fucking Discord messages. I think Mach 10's comp is way fucking better here.
What I would look at is the support.
North's Wukong is actually really fucking good. It's so obnoxious.
A massive pool. What we have is a set of CC and a potential chance for an explosion. You more so have that with Steel, the shield smash, and then a stun, and then a shield dash to try to push them back. You have just the Horror Frost, maybe the wall if you lay it down just right on the side of the Aurora. I do like the exchange up. I do like the overall matchup, more so in the favor of Mach 10 here. I do like Bartle do on the Steel with Lakeinator on the Revenant.
I like it as well, and we've been seeing these two ADCs prioritized so much. Both of them have taken games off of the other, kind of just about getting that early lead, getting that gold stacked up against them. We are 3 minutes in. I believe this is the first time we've gotten to the 3-minute mark without a kill in this series, right?
This is the first time we've had that. We've got a little bit more caution. Like we said, we saw a lot of targeted bans. We saw a lot of targeted picks to take away some power from the opposing teams. And I think that that's being felt here as we see a little bit slowed pace, a little bit more cautious pace at the start of this match. Or maybe it's just the jitters of, hey, this one's for everything. This puts us in the finals. Let's make sure we don't do anything crazy. Let's not get out of position. Let's not get ourselves overly exposed and allow some early kills to get that first blood to the opposing team.
Yeah, Mercy on this Terra is going to meet up with the Wukong around that 5 camp on the stairs. Will get pushed back with a disengage coming from North, who still just wants to be farming up at this point. The action does kick off in this dual lane, though. Big Shield's going to block a lot of the damage from Maguli, but Bartledew going to have to put it in retreat, bulldoze back towards his tier 1 tower. The health bars of Flow State are looking on the lower side, though.
It was a great exchange on the side of the Mach 10 roster. They had the carry change up, but both these, like we said, it's just a change up in character, right? Both these carries very senior, not new to the competitive market, competitive gameplay, know how to play about every character with utmost confidence. There's the shift up of maybe you played one all day or maybe you haven't played one. We're not seeing that happen here. Lakeator feeling very confident in this matchup into this Flow State roster. Goalies is playing the Sparrow well, lay down that stun there, lay down some slow there, prevent the team from aggressing.
It's really loud.
Good little exchanges there. Those what you're doing. You're just filling each other out right now. You're in the beginning of the match.
Sorry.
You know, the first Fang 2 is going to come up, and then shortly after that, you have.
Sorry. I was focused. I was reading Discord messages and stuff. Sorry. I'm back. Sorry. I was looking at Discord messages.
State also definitely wants to wait, try to get these level 6s online for everybody. Want that unstoppable force on their jungler with the Terra, so she cannot get CC'd out of stealing these objectives away or using that hunt within these pits.
I'm gonna probably get food in a second, but
also explain some of the slowness that we have seen. Both offlaners will hit level 6 now at this point. North with a little bit of aggression here onto Simba in the mid lane. Gonna get knocked up.
I don't want to miss anything crazy. Oh, North first blood.
On the board. Simba's gonna be able to find North with a little bit of help from his jungler Mercy.
I like hearing your opinions more than the analysts.
Well for Bri, but he's slowing down that speed gate, stop Mercy from making any more advantage on. Going to push back some damage as well on Simba, but there's going to be a chance the rotation over from Flow State here with North down. Going to have a chance to get this buff in time before he can even get in there to get a smite. Might just hand this one freely over with that exchange. Good pick there. Get North out of the way. Good way to rotate over as a team if you're on Flow State. Get yourself that first neutral objective.
And they will pick it up cleanly, but Mercy going to be in here with the glacial charge coming out from Peak, gonna stop Bri from the retreat. Mercy is gonna take a bit of damage from Bartledew. Simba now in the back. Lakeator are gonna pick that up for himself, see if they can get any more executes. The root will come down here onto Maguli, gonna use the hail of arrows to slow them down, thwart the attempt, and he's trying to put some damage back, but Bartledew gonna get out with just a sliver.
And Bartledew going to utilize that blink there. It's so close, but not close enough. Is he able to lay that stem there on Maguli? Would be a great chance for Lakeator to secure a second kill. He did get that kill in on that. They surrendered the buff over to Flow State. He could have secured another kill, get himself a double kill, get that roll here on that Revenant. We see him about to get that 6. He gets that Reckoning. Maybe he said, hey, let him get those kills, let him rack him up a little bit, build a bounty. I'll hit him with a Reckoning, get that extra gold as well. Seeing a good performance so far here out of Mach 10. Surrender the first buff. They were able to get themselves some kills on the way out. Didn't get to secure all of them. Did secure some blinks, though, which is very important. We saw a few of those expended. Mercy had to blink out there as well. We saw the blink from Maguli. Get those out of the way. Get those 5 minutes of pressure where you know you can get a little bit of advantage. Very important.
Very important indeed. And you know they have these cooldowns tracked at this
Team
high
meeting's going crazy.
Of competitive predecessor. Both junglers very, very aware of who is gankable, who is not gankable. So with those blinks going down, we may see quite a bit more action.
And we'll need that action here as we see this mini pine buff has just spawned. The teams want to get ready to rotate towards that. We see kind of the slow pace here in the solo lane. Bondru just kind of freezing out that lane, maybe setting up play for Nord to come over and make his rotation. But with those blinks gone, I'd expect the teams to get much more spicy when things happen here at this mini pine buff.
Yeah, North kind of stalking BKB here, seeing if there's anything he can do. Gonna elect to just move towards his 5 camp. Bartledew is over on this side. Did just get a reset out of Mercy. Peak was looking mid, wasn't able to find the gank he wanted here onto Bri on that gadget. But we are on the tight rope again. Yes, you mentioned it. That mini prime is available. They're going to be looking to get that and snowball that into taking a couple of these tier 1 towers. Bartledew also stalking BKB as he's been taking a lot of attention early in this game.
This is nice to see this. We're seeing something that you've mentioned in the last game we've seen a lot is we see the attempt here to take the mini prime by Mach 10. We see Mercy coming over. Not sure if his activity is going to be enough. Should be a little chance for a fight here. Maybe they're just going to hand down this buff and get into this fight, Lance.
He does have the unstoppable force available to him, but they are at a couple man disadvantage here. Will come out. He's got his eyes set onto Bride, who's going to get knocked up by the seismic assault and put into the ground. One person falls early, and
what place did y'all get? It doesn't matter. We didn't place.
With that hunt is going to be the first to fall.
Top 4, so it doesn't matter.
Stop Bondrewd in his tracks, but not enough to pick up a kill for them. And it's Flow State with their eyes set onto this mini prime.
In the Wukong and North, we made so much point to make out how menacing he was and how strong he is, but he's able to get himself picked off here in another fight, getting a little bit too overexposed, trying to chase down some kills. Let's sort of this bus over to Flow State. That gives them their second neutral objective. They got the Fang Tooth, now they got the mini prime. Maybe it's a little bit of bait maneuver on their part, or maybe it's an overextension by North. However, if you're on the side of Flow State, you got to be happy that you're capitalizing on those, giving you no chance for the opposing team to contend those neutral objectives without taking out your jungler as well. Good start so far here in Game 3 by Flow State.
Oh, and North flashes here onto Simba, pushes him back as well. The blink not available for Simba, but he does walk out of the Tesla Dome. One more shot will put him down, but a big seismic assault. North here to back it, or North gets backed up. BKB has come in peak with the glacial charge. Is going to trap Bright and Bartledew. Hail of Arrows gets blocked by the steel wall. Cryosystem comes out as well, but Bartledew will jump down into his death into that tier 1 tower. Maguli picks him up, so an exchanging of health bars will cost Bartledew all of his.
And Lance, that was a good exchange there again by Flow State, playing very aggressive and very well into this comp, utilizing all their abilities. But the most important thing I say here is able to get off those picks early in the fight. They're not doing these big fighting team engagements where everyone's clustered up. They're able to get there a little bit ahead of the opposing team, a little bit ahead of Mach 10 to secure one player here and there. It's been what's causing these wins overall. Picking off those one characters early is giving you the numbers advantage, and they're doing successful when they have that advantage.
Ooh, Feast comes out onto Bondrewd very early in this as well. The Glacial Charge is going to stop Bondrewd, who misses the assault to the gate because of it. The rest of them around. Horrorfrost comes down. He is stunned. Going to use the Blink Big Steel Wall. Going to keep him alive for now. Maguli is stalking, but you cannot continue to walk forward. That health bar is so low. Lakeinator's going to pick him up. And just like that, they're going to give a kill over. Great job from Bartledew there.
Yeah, great play there, but what we are seeing here is the Fang Tooth. And the second Fang Tooth is now being capitalized on again. I don't know that they can quite rotate in now. You have to get a little bit of resets in. Don't have the damage with North. North is going to contest this. You're going to hand this one freely over to Mercy. A lot of control on these neutral objectives.
I'm going for Flow State. Seems like Mach 10. People want Mach 10 to win, though. I mean, I wouldn't mind Flow State winning. It'd be a new champion. Well, they'd be in grand finals. They haven't won yet. But I just like Flow State's draft. Or sorry, Mach 10's draft more for their team than I like Flow State's draft for their team. I think Flow State's really good. A lot of people shit talk them, but their team has been playing phenomenally.
He has been in all of the
like absolutely phenomenal.
He's been in the pits for all 3 of the neutral objective takes for Flow State early.
I like Mach 10's draft for their team more than I like Flow State's draft for their team.
Is my team not in? Just playing excellently.
Why is the quality so bad?
Lance, as you said, because of the exchange.
They need to up their bitrate on the stream.
Into the Revenant unless he has that mass advantage. So you feel comfortable leaving Lakeinator there in that one.
This is like 3K bitrate or something.
And so when you rotate over peak, you do lay those glacial charges down. The Horrorfrost able to set up your team. But the thing is, that all was initiated with Bartledew. He began some early rotations where Lakeinator was feeling comfortable, which we've seen numerous times out of this Mach 10 roster. You want to leave Lakeinator.
I mean, everybody that I've talked to has counted F8 out.
As he can.
Like, everyone counts F8 out. And F8 is just playing so fucking well. So
those glacial walls, as you mentioned, they've been so crucial so far in setting up some early picks around these neutral objectives.
Feast comes out once again from BKB, chunking this health bar of Bondrewd out, trying to burn that Stone Forward Soul, burn that second life, actually not even available to him. So just kind of try to push him out of the lane. North will come hang out by that fog wall to try to provide some defense. Will sidestep the seismic assault as well. But BKB kind of getting the better of Bondrewd so far early. Maguli comes through with the ult. Lakeinator just a sliver of health. Will the snipe come through? He's going to have to flash to get away from Bartledew. Walks around the glacial charge, puts his own wall down. But it will be Lakeinator having to retreat. Stoneforce Soul now comes out of Bondrewd, but he is going to have to be in full retreat mode. Mercy going to pick up the kill in the off lane.
Lance, great start here by Flow State. This is the situation you wanted to be in. If you see some plays here going down the solo lane or the duo lane, There'll be a chance for a kill here as well on Bartledew without having Lakeinator around.
But the rest of Mach 10 is coming. North has shown up. Bartledew will fall early within this. The glacial wall will come up, but North is going to be able to pick Maguli up and now Pete on the wrong side of the map. Big knockup from the Seismic Assault will come through to try to get Peak out. He's got the distance. He may be able to do it. A little bit of chase down from North seems a little too risky with Simba looming on the other side, so it'll end up only being a 1-for-1 trade.
Lance, that's a complete respect for North of Simba. Simba's been able to lay those knockups and those void bombs to lay down an immense amount of damage to him through those rotations. We saw him rotate into the mid lane early. He was able to get picked off when he got collapsed on by the Flow State roster. We saw the exchange there. North would usually run that down with the most confidence that he knows he can secure that kill. However, has to give respect to Simba as well, who's been able to secure some kills on him. Just a general respect thing here to say, hey, I could go up and try to get that kill. Is it really worth it? Is it worth the chance of giving Simba another kill and get him more confident rolling than he already is on the Bella?
Right, and it's scary indeed. We've talked about the razor's edge that we are walking on, the stakes that are in this match, a trip straight to the grand finals, knowing you've got a payday coming July 12th. It is going to be North pressing his way onto BKB here. The cycle breaker works, the pushback works. Bondrewd here as well does have the ability to tank this tower, but the Countess, so slippery.
Yeah, we talk about the agility of the Wukong all the time, but we don't always talk about the agility of the Countess. Very good sustain there. She was able to lay the teleport down the first time, slip herself away, fights again, slips away the second time. Great escape there. Nothing that you can do if you're on North there with Bondrewd as well. Just not enough damage to take out the Countess quick enough.
And that reset window not large enough to make Mach 10 feel comfortable to start this mini prime up. Nice knockup on the tail end will catch Bondrewd. And whoa, Maguli on the opposite side gets the 1v1 kill into Lakeinator. So now the most damage from Mach 10 is off the map for the next 20 seconds. Do they want to make a move towards this mini prime?
If you're on the side of Flow State here, you have to make it towards this mini prime. You have to just force them to want to take a fight with you. You've won a majority of them here in the beginning part of this match. You feel the damage coming out from your team. If you see a little bit of activity, Bartledew's going to back it up. Instead of taking the mini prime, they're going to shift this over.
Maguli hunting? Maguli is playing fucking dominant. I mean, I said Mercy isn't very good, or doesn't play Terra a lot, but he's owning it. North stole it. North went in and stole. Oh, Bond drew it on that fucking combo, bro.
Stoneforge Soul immediately out of Bondrewd, but Sim is going to pick the first kill up. Oh, actually, Maguli dead.
Oh my God.
Right now.
Mach 10 on this team fight.
The 3v1, they're going to be able to pick Bondrewd up.
Wait, did North just double stun with the fucking... I didn't even know...
On the side, Lakeinator going to pick Sim.
I didn't even know fucking...
3 for 2 right now in the favor of it. Mercy.
Oh my God, Mach 10, that team fight. Holy shit.
Health left.
I'm gonna be honest, I did not know that Wukong ult was an AoE, or Wukong stun was AoE.
You gotta be happy. You get the glacial wall comes down from Peak. He does stop North from getting in. However, he utilizes the flash, catches him by surprise. He's able to smite the buff away. He steals that. And then the team
I'm gonna be honest, Bondrewd carried that fight. Not Bondrewd, Bartledew carried that fight. Holy shit.
Does make that escape with the glacial charge again. Hats off to him on the performance with those so far on the
Bartledew carried the fuck out of that fight. Holy shit.
Getting the buff. And it wasn't enough to save your team.
I forgot to say this as well. They picked the most anti-Sparrow team comp they could.
We're doing so good at the start of this
game. Maguli's on Sparrow, but they have the most anti-Sparrow team comp in the game.
Advantage on the side of Flow State, and especially if they're able to remove Lakeinator from the side of Mach 10, as they're going to pick their second mini prime up of this game. It just feels like all of the gold. We saw Lakeinator's kill score. He is 7-1 right now. If they can remove this Revenant from a team fight, Flow State has a ginormous gold advantage within this. Yes,
Lakeinator is 5-1.
The third thing too with Monty did not end up being able to take or get taken as North knocks that down, steals that away, but there's still that pressure looming as the Primal Fangtooth spawns.
You know, ADC would make that true. I mean, steal support, right? Be a wall. Wukong, who can block all of Sparrow, right? With